Hey, Megan, we can go right in here.
Perfect. I'm just gonna take their waters out there.
Oh, gotcha, gotcha. I see.
I don't want Jay to have to listen to them whine.
Okay.
Oh, for the water? Yeah.
Okay, today we're here at the Brim Halls at Laurie and Alan's place, and we're going to work this mare for the second time and just do some basic groundwork.
Yeah? Alright, everyone come in. And then, Caroline, you can just sit on that snapping club. Really? Okay. Okay. Stay away. So, just to recap, don't forget to put the right side line. Don't hit it. Don't tap. And then you're going to really make sure that you stay clear. We're going to okay, we're all going to do is play these around. We're going to do a shot. It's called massage. It's what me and their mom have done. Massage is fun. I think it's fun and easy. It's just more like.
Okay. Let me just, before we go in, let me just check to see what the length of your lead rope versus this one.
It's a lot. I think it's quite a bit shorter than yours is.
Well, just check for the heck of it. Okay, here, just take that out there. See how much.
Couple of feet.
Yeah, a couple of feet. Okay, let me use mine then, for now. And don't get me wrong, this can work perfectly well. It's just that you get a little bit better advantage with a little longer one when you're teaching them this at first, you know.
I like this material better too. It's a little, or is it just like? Do you think it's just a little rougher because it's older?
What?
The halter itself. It has a little more like.
No,
it has a little more bite to it.
Yes, and you would want something with a little more bite to it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And you know they're hard to find because you can go in there and get, these are called rope halters.
Right.
You can find all kinds of rope halters, but you just got to kind of check them, you know.
Yeah, I used to have like a real nice Clinton Anderson halter, but it was like a fall halter.
Oh, really? Too small, yeah.
I had a yearling that I started, but that was a nice halter, but the overpriced.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they know that there's a little.
For the name, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. Oh, so I'm you know, as soon as I take a hold of the horse, I start with all my little stuff because the devil is in the details, right?
Yeah.
And she's not being bad. I say, no. She goes, but aren't we supposed to go in? Yep, we are. Okay, now we can go in.
It'll be interesting to see how she is too with the other mares over there.
Yeah.
She's a little herd sour, so she can see that being another piece of.
Absolutely. And then it's just, again, it's about, remember I was telling you, it's just sometimes you get really busy if they're connected over there instead of over here. So you just say, okay, that's where she is today because of the situation. No worries. We'll just keep her on track the best we can with me. In other words, I like mentally for her to pay attention to me, and she's looking over there, which is normal. I mean, gosh, she's a horse. She's figuring that's where I'd rather be, over there with my buds. So I'll just get her. I'm just kind of watching her. She's not bad. That was good. The flies are getting you. Flies are getting you. Good. So I just had to really bump on her to get her to understand that that's where she needed to move. And as soon as she did, because it was so foreign to her starting today, a lot of times they'll get soft. She probably got really soft with you or softer yesterday. So it doesn't matter. Sometimes it carries over in the beginning. Sometimes it doesn't. But eventually it will carry over again with the consistency. So, yeah. So.
That sounds like it. Maybe if I can just do 10 minutes a day before she rides there. Or,
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend that. If you got the time, do that because it will make a huge difference for the ride.
That's
So,
what I'm yesterday and said, Jeff's a really good horse trainer. My horse is the best ever today.
well, we'll just say thank you and good mare, good mare. So and I'm not, I don't try to be abrupt per se, but I'll get as firm as I need to get. So that's that only you when you're working her can do that. But always, like I said, always ask lightly first. Always, 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 because one day she'll take you up on the light. But if she doesn't know there's a light, and you come in and say we need to do this now, she'll never be light. You'll have to do that from now on. So offer light and then firm up as necessary. I mean that's just and if I can be lighter even when I firm up, I will be. But if she's ignoring me, I'll say, well, I guess I got to get a little bit firmer until she listens. You know what I mean? Yeah, there.
Just like with kids.
Yeah, exactly. But you give them the good deal. And a lot of people don't give them the good deal, that lightness first, because they're going, yesterday she's a tough one. She was doing this and doing that. So you start the next session ready for combat and ready for battle. Don't do that. It's a natural tendency, but say, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, even though you're probably going to screw up, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because maybe, just maybe, you might take me up on the good deal. See? Yeah. Here. And I watched you out there backing her. It was pretty good. But just remember, think of it this way. You offer that good deal, that lightness, you come in firm, and then if you wait too long, it becomes nagging. I mean, there's a fine line. Only you know that. Only I can't tell you because you'll say, "Am I nagging or am I?" Or because you're really hoping they'll take you up on that good deal, right? So you spend like 5 seconds kind of trying to get her to take the good deal way too long. See, that becomes nagging, and pretty soon they'll just start fidgeting, and they'll get frustrated with it. They don't like to be nagged, right?
Yeah.
So again, and you'll have to adjust it. Start out light. When you come in firm, don't come in over firm. So I'd rather you err on the side of caution and say, okay, I'll give you just a little bit more. And if that doesn't work, say, how about a little bit more? Until like you get some kind of change, right? So there it is. So I offered her a good deal, and she was just not paying attention. She just wasn't. She wasn't bad, right? She was just not paying attention. But this will get her giddy. And what I'm always looking for when I do this stuff, light versus firmness, is it gets them prepared earlier. It always gets them prepared earlier. And it's the preparation before what you're asking, because if they're prepared to do what you're going to do, they'll just the actual action takes care of itself. It's the getting them prepared physically and mentally first, right? And people say, well, yeah, duh, but a lot of times we just go right in there and get them prepared. If they're not prepared, help them to get prepared. See, so. So she wasn't prepared at all, at all. So I asked her a little bit, and then I asked her firm. See, so then I'll go again, and I'll see, observe, remember, and compare, right, and adjust, right. Those are the words you should live by when you're teaching your horse. Observe, remember, compare, and adjust. I'll take that. Big change, right? She still was not prepared as early as I want, but hey, better.
She was at least thinking.
Yeah. She went, oh, I think I know what he wants. And then when she hits on it, I don't keep asking. In the beginning, even though I want her to back up more, I don't keep asking. I really reward for that idea of her getting prepared to do it. See, I'm rewarding that first, so that she'll take the incentive later to say, Yeah, he's gonna release here pretty soon. I don't know how many steps, but he'll release pretty soon. See, that's kind of how you build on those things, and it's the same thing when you're riding. You've ridden any maneuver, you start out real simple, real basic, and then you advance it as they can pretty soon, right? Same thing. There, I'll take that. And this is probably really one of the most practical things you can do. This exercise is the backing and getting her to move off that halter, because the crowding issue and all that. So all the other stuff is really important. But boy, I mean, going through gates and then going getting all that stuff, man, you want her getting ready, and you want her getting ready to say this. This is what you're looking for her to say. Say, what do you want me to do? See, what do you want me to do? And then you're going, that's what I want. I want you to be thinking like that. There. And then I just move on. That's good. We'll move on to something else because I don't want to drill her. This isn't about drilling those things in to make her good all today. It's just a little bits at a time. So she just kind of ran into my hand because she was just looking over there, and I'm saying, we need to, we're in class right now. We kind of need to pay attention. So she'll say, and what that does again, it goes back to the thing. She'll start getting prepared earlier to pay attention because she might run into my hand or whatever. So it's the same thing. It's the same, and once you get onto those principles, you can the approach. The approach is up to you, right? The approach is up to you if you understand the principle. I mean, I'll show you the maneuvers that I do, but then one day you say, well, she's not working that maneuver very well. Maybe because of this, I'll break it down simpler, see if I can get her doing something else first so that I can advance to that maneuver. Just like this lateral movement with her front end needs a lot of work, a lot of work. She's doing it, but it needs a lot of work. I need her to get over there, see, like that. And see how she stepped back? She stepped back and then moved out. That's what you really want, because when you ride your horse, um, and you want them say you want to do a rollback. Do you know what a rollback is?
Yeah.
Right, rollback. Most everybody does. If you start them on the fence, and the idea of a rollback, you're going this way. You stop them. You have some kind of block like the fence. You don't have to have a fence. In fact, after a while, you don't need the fence. But the fence is a good block. You come in, and You want your horse to turn into the fence and start out on a canter stride, maybe to the right canter stride, right? In other words, you might want to eventually lope off, canter off in a right lead. See, so that rollback does a lot of things. It helps them shift their weight back, reach out, and come around, right? So this groundwork, this is the basic to this groundwork. When I ask her to go move out, I don't want her falling forward into that movement. See, I want her to shift her weight back to her hindquarters a little bit. See how she shifted just a bit? She shifted right to her butt. And that way, it took the pressure off her front end, right? And now that front end's a lot more lighter to move, just like on the rollback. There. So what I don't want to see, and what I don't want to see that. But what I don't want to see is, let me see if I can set her up, kind of like what she did. Just because she's turning her front end, I don't want her to fall forward and get closer to you. See, she's got to pause for a moment. So that's why when you roll those hindquarters over, there's a momentary pause for you and for her. So that positioning, you release for the try. Then you've got to say, now what we're going to do is we're going to shift a little bit back so that you can move your front end over. And I don't want you shifting. I don't want you doing this like that. See how she came real forward? She dumped. I call that dumping out on the front end. She did move her her front quarters, but she moved her front quarters to me. To me. So those are the things you start to, in the beginning, in the very, very beginning, I might not even say anything. I'll say, you moved your front end over, that's good. But now that you're understanding that, let's work on the more proper way to do it. Set back, reach back, and go. So when I ask the front end to go that way, go to her left, There, see, it reached, her left front foot reached out and slightly back. She shifted her weight back so she could unload those front quarters so she could actually move. Hind quarters, pause. I'll help her. I'll help her. There, that's good. That's the front quarters. So if you got to slow it down, that because you're trying to help her understand, you don't want to rush through it. Even though you want it to get smooth, and it will get smooth where you don't have to pause like that once she gets an understanding. If you're timing and you're positioning, she stepped forward. See, she stepped forward that time.
I even noticed I got on her yesterday, and like I even felt her. I hadn't rode her in a while, and her kind of dumping herself on the front end, even just loping around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we were working on kind of picking that front end back up, but I think the kids rider, and so
yeah, and that's going to be, I mean, you're just going to have to, you got to pick your battles. You're going to have to settle for some because they're just not going to have that, but you can get up there and kind of, when they're not there, like you were doing, and just say, hey, remember this, Mare, and help her remember that is the proper way, but yeah, because see, it all relates to the riding. You don't want them dumping out on that front end. Eventually, if you want any kind of collection in your horse, they got to be shifting more of that weight to the hind quarters and unloading the front a little bit. Right there, see, and I just had to bump her because she was going to go forward like, this is what you want me to do. I appreciate the try, but I'm saying not that way.
Right.
Not that way. And that's why she's. And you'll know, I'll tell you how you'll know if she's too, when you ask those front quarters, if she comes in too close to you and you're going, well, how does she get so close to me? It's because she's dumping forward and coming to you instead of setting back and going this way. You know what I mean? Yep. So you practice on those front end. There, that was good. Hind, pause. This is going to be hard for her. There and there. Good, I'll take it.
And that's kind of transitioning into what I was asking you yesterday, right? Like, where do I get out of her way, or
That's right.
do we make her make the full move? So it seems like you're kind of transitioning to her making the move on.
That's exactly it. Very well said. So the idea, the way I would say that is, I want to give her more responsibility as I go. At first, I'll take all the responsibility because she has no clue, right? So I'll allow for those indiscrepancies, right? But boy, if they're not addressed quickly, that becomes habit, and then pretty soon you're going, why is she doing this? That guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't like. So that's why you move along, and then you're right. You give them the response. So I want to put her on. I want to put myself on her left side, and I can now, more or less, right? Because I got the front end operating good enough. There, she put me there instead of me going like this. Kind of what we were talking about the other day. Instead of me, I finish this side. Then I walk around like this, and I'm putting myself. Well, this is groundwork. Get your horse better so that that she can do that. But if she doesn't understand it, then do it by all means until she can understand. So it's up to you to get her to start moving those front quarters. And if it's not working while I'm going around in the groundwork and she keeps crowding me, and that's what I'll stop everything, back up in my list of I got my bottom part of my list, which is the simplest things I ask them, and I go up the list to more complicated, right? So I got past and I go, this front end's not working out. Let's go back to square one, work on the front end a little bit better, so that I didn't have to bump her. Pretty soon I won't have to bump her. There, and I'll say once I don't have to bump her and she's still trying, I get out and I'll say, good job, rubber. Well, I bumped her, so she doesn't arbitrarily say, that guy beats on me and thumps me on the face and I don't like it, and pretty soon her head's up in the air. We don't want that. So immediately say, hey, no hard feelings. It's all just trying to get an understanding, right? Come on. So she's going, what do you want? You just asked me to go faster. Now you're bumping on me to go slower. I'm trying to give her an idea where I want her. I didn't necessarily want her to trot. I don't want her to stop. There's a place that's open to her where she'll get relief and release, right? So I've got to show it to her. So there, that's good, and I don't want that, so I'll just try to slow her down, light as light as I can. There, and then when she complies and walks at that rate, that's the rate I want. Doesn't mean you can if you want them to trot, then say here trot, get back to the walk. So pretty soon she's waiting on you, and she's getting prepared. There, I'll take that. That was a little bit forward. She dumped out just a hair, but I'm not gonna punish her. I'll wait till the next time. Slow down, bump down, slow down. There. I get quiet. She gets quiet. I get quiet. I'll wait till she's looking onto the circle again. There. Good. Good. And I'll give her a moment there because there was a lot going on there. So I still want the front end, but there was a lot I had to adjust there. So I'll say, you know what? There was a lot you had to adjust to on that time. I'll give you a big break there. That way she starts to soak. They call it soaking. Soaking is where she starts to penetrate, where she starts to start to begin to understand what just took place there, right? So I don't want to rush the mind. There, I'll take that. Sometimes I'll just do that just to see where she's at. I'll throw that lead rope up over and I just toss it. I don't try to fire it at her like I'm trying to hit her. I'm just trying to say, hey, can you wear that? Because especially if she hadn't been, see how those little boogers there, that's shocky. And I want to get rid of that. So I just keep working on it. I might have to even soften the way I do it so she won't get so troubled, especially on the butt. So I'll just keep going around until I see a little bit of a change. In other words, I start to see her let down a little bit and relax to it. She's not yet. She's pretty scared of it. So I'll just keep working at it, slow and easy. I don't want her to completely stop. There. I just want her to wear it. There. If she wears it right there, she's looking on her right side. She was looking over on her right side there. She sees it, picks it up out of her. On her left side, she picked up. It scared her a little bit. Give her a moment. And this is what I might do. You don't have to do it, but I might do that. I do it all the time on horses that maybe I haven't worked in a while, and I hadn't saddled them yet, because I'm going to saddle them in a minute. And I said, you know what? You're fresh. Depends on the weather. It might be a day where they're fresh anyway. It's cool, crisp day, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just, see, I'll try to lob it in there soft. I'm not trying to get her scared. See, yeah. I'm not trying. I'm trying everything. If she gets scared, that's on her. She got scared. But I try to be as soft as I can. There. And pretty soon, that's just like getting them better with a tarp or with anything you're using, a slicker, a coat, a flag. And I might just pet her there. That was less of a reaction, right? It was less. So that just tells me if one of the kids accidentally drugged their coat or tried to take her coat off and she wasn't paying attention, the mare, and that coat hit her on the butt just a little bit, it might startle her just a bit, enough to, you don't know. So you want to be thorough, especially around kids. Hey, I like that. See, and I won't beat a dead horse. I love to say that because it's like beat a dead horse, but it's not drilling. But I'll go on to something else. I'll go on to the other side. And a lot of times they'll tolerate it standing still. And you think you got it all. You think she's gentle to it. But the true test is, I don't know if I said this the other day, while they're moving. So get them, if you have to get them used to like the flag or anything else, a coat or a slicker, a raincoat or anything like that. At the standstill's fine at first. They got to tolerate that. Now, I'm going to send her forward, and we'll see if there's a change. Usually they get troubled. They get concerned while they're moving, see? So then you got to address it. See how she gets a little bit... She was pretty good about it standing still, but as she moves, it's not so good, see? That was better. And I'll just let her pack it right there. Just let her pack it. And you see how I have my hand? I don't want her... She might kick at it, not kicking at me, but if I don't have my hand... on this rope to bend her if she decided to kick and get her butt away from me, then I could get kicked. So that's why we do that groundwork, so that she starts to understand that the release comes from moving the butt away, stopping, everything goes away. Okay? So it just reconfirms to her that the support she'll get when she's troubled and worried about stuff. But in order for her to get really good about it, I've got to do this here thousands of times.
Yeah.
And release for every time. Because she gets to depend on it. She'll say, that person will get me out of trouble. There's something on my butt and she'll get me out of trouble. If I just do this and pretty soon, as soon as she stops, maybe you drag that thing off, give her a moment and say, you're out of trouble. So that she builds that trust in you. Yeah. Yeah. She went forward there. I didn't like that. But it's too late now. I can't fix it, so I'll try to be more aware of it the next time. Like, there's a pause. I'll take that one. It's a little better. And I'll let you have her in a second. And just good practice, like I said, like I was telling at the end of the session the other day, to see how far you can get out. Don't start out way far, because you might not be adept enough yet to get, to kind of handle everything. So don't be afraid to be in a little closer in the beginning, especially with her. She's not dangerous per se.
Yeah, it's like I feel like a new rider who doesn't know how to collect my reins, or you know what I mean, like disorganized.
Yep, and it just takes practice. Because I'll show you again. I don't think I showed you. Oh yeah, I did not. Okay, so I'll show it to you now, and I'll let you get in here. And here's the way I showed you the other day. Just the way I've been doing it. I don't like that, so I'll just roll her over, and I'll start over. She dumped out forward. Good. That's good. Now we can get out on our circle. Okay. So I've been showing you. This is my leading hand. This is my driving hand, right? So my leading hand is the one that's closest to the halter. And then what I've been doing is using my leading hand to disengage those hindquarters, right? So I didn't show you the change of the hands, right? The other day?
I don't think so.
No, I didn't. Because it's a little bit more. And talk about this. And I used to teach it in the beginning that way, and it was just too much. People just get too flustered. So now, the more advanced way, because you got the front end operating, that's the criteria. Once you have the front end operating in somewhat just like hers, then I change. So my left hand is my leading hand, right? I'm going around and I'm thinking what I'm going to do ahead of what I'm going to do, which is I'm going to roll those hindquarters over and get her stopped. So I got to bend her head, get her hip to go away from me. So I think about that before, so that I can prepare before while she's going around. I reach up on my other hand. See, I switch hands. And the reason being, I have my tail of my rope already in position to help her front end move. Watch. So I'm going along. Come on. So I'm thinking I got to do it. I do it 4 or 5 strides ahead of myself. See, so I'm prepared. Not at the time of doing it, because you got to have forward momentum, right? I'm going to do it now. I reach over, pause, come across. If she didn't come across, I had the tail of my rope to tap her on the shoulder. Reach across, pause, help her across. Up. Now, when you get in here, don't do that in the beginning. Do the way you've been doing it.
Okay.
And then as you get better with that, then we'll switch over. Okay, you're up.
And so, I mean, I know we're not going to start that way, but when you're pulling her back that direction, it looks like you're kind of pulling her like almost towards like the middle of her back rather than like her hip.
When I'm doing which part?
When you're getting her, when you're pulling her face back to get the hindquarters to move.
Yeah. And what does it look like I'm doing?
So it seems like you're pulling here rather than here. I felt like I was kind of pulling towards her hip the other day, but I felt like you were kind of a little.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. Okay. In the beginning.
So I guess, do you have a goal, or is it just based on where she's positioned?
Well, that's a good question too. The answer to that is yes and no. What I want to do is I want to get some flexion in this neck first of all, right? And if she's stiff, then I might only be able to ask her this much. See, because if I try that, she's not ready there. She's not prepared, right? So to answer that, I got to make sure she's. And if that's all I got, if I got her head bent to me, I can still get the hindquarters. It's not going to be as fluid and loose, and she's not going to turn loose mentally and physically as much, but she'll get it done. And as she gets, as you release for those flexions, she'll start coming more deep and more deep. I just want to basically, the most I want is maybe a 90 degree flexion.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean it has to go to the hip. It could be right here. That's almost a 90-degree flexion right there. Because here she's pulling. I'm just trying to kind of get her bent enough. And what happens if you find out, if you get them bent enough, deep enough in the beginning, they turn loose of right here in the loin, so that hip will move over softer without being so stiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll change. And as the horse advances and gets it, the flexion when I do that is less and less and less. There's still flexion, has to be flexion, but it's less because what happens is once I get the hind, okay, the front can't come over if there's not enough flexion. If her head's straight here, it's going to be almost impossible to get a correct movement of the front quarters. Let me show you, because that's a good question. Hang on, bump. See, I have to have that bend. I have to have that bend, maintain that bend for her to come through with the front end. Now, if I just release, like in the first stages, we just released for the hindquarters. I let her head go straight, right? I let her head go straight. See, now it's straight. The front end is not prepared. So I got to get flexion in the front end this way because she's going, that's her new circle going over here. So I got to get flexion and enough flexion. See, that's why she has to kind of back up. She has to bend enough to send her over. Do you see what I'm saying? That's just biomechanics of the horse. Yeah, okay. And then you got to play with that because you'll say, no, it was too stiff, or maybe you don't want to get them so watered up there they don't move, So that's between you and your horse, and you'll figure that out. What's good?
Okay.
Okay, and she did dump out, but that's all right. Next time. Yeah, and see, the flexion you had on her there, that was good enough. I saw there was a softness in her. Did you feel that softness in her?
I felt like she was kind of looking out, and I pulled her face in, and then she was like...
Yeah, and then she began to soften all the way through her body, and she was able to do that. She understood it. That's the main thing, because she got it physically and mentally, so that's good. She dumped out.
So then when she does that, is my correction to have that little palm to her face motion?
Well, at that point, it's almost too late to make a correction.
Okay.
So I just stop, and when you're stopping, people say, well, then you just stop them. Say, again, think about, I got a chance to stop her. I might as well disengage the hindquarters of stopping her that way because you got thousands of more. So don't just stop her and correct. Stop her by using the disengagement, get her correct, and then what I would do is I'd start doing this. Just like I was showing. Instead of getting her to going, I'd say, I say they're back, and then get timed up with the right front foot watch. And she'll get onto it. Bend her backing, left, ask, left, ask, left, ask. Good. She look how far out she went.
Yeah.
So that's a way to help them if you're not getting it the other way. Because once she went past and you kind of pushed over there, that was too late. I appreciate your trying, but it's like, yeah, that ain't gonna do no good.
She's like, I'm paying attention to him, not you.
It's all right. Very good. Very good. Now, set her up to go that way, but set her up so that front end shifts back. Her right front leg is what you're concentrating on now. It should move out and slightly back. Her right front leg.
Back just a little bit?
Yeah, but instead of doing it that way, here's kind of a way I like to do it. I do it several ways, but this is a good way to do it. So you take your right hand and you get her backing first, straight, one step. So I know we want her to go that way, but I'll time up. See, I'm timing up when the right front leg leaves the ground. That's when I can ask, right?
Okay.
But let me get some steps first. There's the left. Now I can time up there, see?
Okay.
And I helped her by bumping her here, bump, because she doesn't get it. And pretty soon, this will mean more than the bump. See, it'll mean as much as the bump. See, there. See, I didn't have to touch her. Okay. Back, straight, left. Now the right front foot is off the ground. So time up. Get at least one backward step straight, so that you can get in time with the right front foot as it leaves the ground. Then, as it leaves the ground, that's when you ask for that lateral flexion for the front end to go over. Yeah.
I ask her and then she does it.
Okay, bumper. No, just bump. Yeah, bump until she. Yeah, that wasn't bad.
And I felt her step over.
Yeah, she stepped out because it's out and around. It's not forward and over you. It's out and around on your circle, right? Good. Good. Now think about what you got to do to influence those front quarters to go out to her right, and you can get her to back up a straight step, get in time. When that right front foot comes off the ground, bump her lightly on the jaw and say, step out. There, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad.
I was like, I was a little early.
Yeah, that's okay. She's out. Now go. Yeah. And see how you were trying to kind of get her to stop by pulling back, saying, you need to stop, girl, right?
She did like a little more flexion.
Let her keep wallowing, going around and around and around. Just, yeah, more flexion. And that just keeps those. And here's the idea. Don't make her stop. If she needs to go around 10 more times, fine. But drop all of the life in your body. Have her keep flexed, like you said, and say, you might want to get your feet stopped, and I'll release your head and let it go straight, and I'll rub on you and give you a moment. See what I'm saying? It's their decision to stop. You can't force them to stop. You're kind of say, stop. Right. Say, okay, go ahead. Not bad.
I was like, I felt like she at least.
She is. Yep. That was really deep and nice. That was really nice. Okay, so you see where she's set up. Reposition your body here. Get ready to influence that front end to go to her right. Now, I've showed you a couple of ways to do it. She's got to go that way. She's got to step that right front foot out and slightly back. She's got to shift her weight towards her butt. Nope, she went forward. Okay?
So,
yeah.
So
get her to 45. Once they get onto it, see, I start here, right? Like I was showing you. Right hand up here, and I get it short enough to where I can influence the pressure for her to go backwards. And this hand here is going to influence to go that way. But once they get onto that, and they get a little bit more understanding, I shorten it. I say, how about it? How about it? There. See what I'm saying? Instead of getting her to back up, but really what she's doing is backing up. See, right. It's left, right, left, reach, left, reach. When I say reach, I'm talking about the right front foot reaching. See, I'm timing up with the left and the right foot. Watch. So get that guy kind of going first, and then pretty soon you can dispense with that and shorten it up, and you can see I'm at this angle. So I'm blocking that forward motion. This is open over here. And if I had to get deeper over here, I'd even block it more. So now the door is only open over there. That's where I want her to go, right? So sometimes at the first, it might be too much, and they'll throw their head and they get it. So I start here, and then I build. See? Okay. Come on. Good. That's all she needed, right?
So, and I feel like maybe I'm just misunderstanding and staying on this side of her, whereas this seems to be her more difficult side, and maybe I need to compensate and give her a little more guidance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm just not giving her the chance.
Yes. Excellent. There she goes. So instead of pushing her on the neck more, roll her over and stop her. I'm going to get a little bit critical now because you're onto it. See, you're getting onto it. You're thinking like a horse gal. Um, so you did this, and you got her to step over, right? And then you went like this. You went no. See, that's what this is for. See, this is for say, get out there. Remember, I showed you on the shoulder. Get out there. Get out there. Get out there. So I just want you to use better tools than that. Because if you come in there like that on maybe a dangerous horse, you're in too close. And I'm just saying, this horse, no, but and she's letting you get away with it. She's filling in for you. But there are horses that maybe wouldn't like that, or you might spook them. But it also gets you better about using the tools at hand. See, I got this driving. Hey, there. And I'll say, get out. Get out. And if she goes faster, that's fine. I don't want her to go faster, but I want her to get out. There she went. So I let off. When she goes out, I let off. And I'll say, slow down there. You get a little release there. Come in. Hind foot as it leaves the ground. Come on. See when I lose momentum, how hard it is. So we got to have forward momentum when I ask for this. They can do it, but it's much more difficult without the forward momentum. There. Good job. Okay.
That makes sense. I was like, why do I keep ending up with my hand on her shoulder? That's not
Yeah. But the idea is correct because you're trying to get it out. But use your tools at hand. Yeah, she's got to yield to something. Yep. Yeah, and she went a little fast, so that's no worries. You just slow her down to the amount you want.
And if she
To let her just bend her, keep bending her, and just walking her. Slow your body down so that your energy isn't influencing her to keep moving. She's only going, I'm not sure what I want to do. So you just, good, give her a little release there. Say that was the answer. Stopping those feet was the answer by doing that. And ask her to do it on the same side again. And see if you can get it a bit better. So you don't have to just because you do it, you need to do it on both sides. But if they can do it a little better, stay on that side until you can get a little bit better of a change. And then go to the other side.
okay.
And just allow her to come to a stop. Allow her. That's it. And I like the way you kept her flexed. You had to bump her. You had to keep her flexed. That was great. And pretty soon, you won't have to bump her. So just remember that. Every time you bump her, make sure, even when you're walking, because now you're doing this and this, you're walking those hindquarters, you're trying to think about, she's got to stop soon. After you bump, make sure there's a slight bit of slack after that bump. That's the release. She feels that. So when you bump, release, and then she didn't get bump again, and just keep bumping but after each bump, make sure they're slacking that rope. So she wants to hunt that slack after the bump. She wants to search for that slack. Yeah. Time up at that inside hind as it leaves the ground. Slow your energy down. Keep her flexed until she stops. There. Now, it'll get less and less. Believe me, you're thinking, oh, maybe it won't. Yes, it will. But if you have to make some adjustments while you're asking her, if you feel that energy's pushing her because she feels your energy, and she also feels when you don't have any energy. So when you get back there and you keep her flexed, which you're doing good, and you're stepping to that hip, step to that hip as quietly and without any energy as you can, so as not to influence her to keep moving those hindquarters. Because if I want my horse to keep moving those hindquarters, I'll kind of bring up my life in my body and I'll say, let's just keep going around and around until I start going like this. It doesn't mean you stop, because you still got to be going to that hip, but everything slows down. See, and then she starts feeling back to you, because it's really about the energy between you two. This stuff, the flexions and all that, is just to help her understand. It's really about her being with you and you being with her, and that's how you get that. Okay, and then we'll start. We'll change the hand in a minute. Do that one more time on that side.
That's why you want it.
Look at that.
Yeah, I could definitely see the difference in this.
She felt back to you. Whatever she felt back to you, she felt, I can get my feet stopped. So again, like I say, put that picture in your mind. Say, let me see if I can replicate that, and it'll change, with the day and you and her and all. How we wake up and all those things change, because we're all both alive and sentient beings, all that. But that's the fun of it. Yeah, you just adjust and get going. Okay, so now we're gonna do the last part. It's changing of the hand. Okay, so this is my leading hand, my driving hand. What I'm trying to do ahead of her. And when you're riding, you do the same thing. You probably don't think about it, or maybe you do. But whatever you're going to do when you're riding your horse, you think about it ahead of what you're going to do, so you know what to do, right? It's like coming to the stop sign. You know there's a stop sign coming. You get ready. You don't like, oh, stop sign. No. So think about ahead about. And if you need to think more ahead, like I say 5 to 6 strides, if you need to think about it with more, fine. Doesn't matter. Just pretty soon it'll get less and less, because you're starting to feel over. But know what you're going to do before you do it, and then think about, visualize how it's supposed to look for you. So here's how you start. Get out there. You start out like this, like we've been doing, right? But before I disengage those hindquarters and get her front to come through to go the other way, I change hands. I reach over my leading hand with my driving hand. So I drop this. I reach as far as I can so I can get a good bend on her. So I'm bending her with the other hand. It used to be my driving hand, see? And then I pick the lead rope up with what used to be my leading hand, right? Because when she comes through, I have this. And if it's already there in my hand, I don't have to make any switches. It's already in my hand. If I need a driver, it's already there. So it makes this thing flow a little bit smoother. In the beginning, it won't be so smooth, but it will get smoother with practice.
All right, so real quick, before I start moving her, I just want to make sure I have the motion down.
Okay.
So if this is the leading hand, I'm reaching across here.
Yeah, but reach as far as your arm will go.
Okay.
Because you want to get as deep a bend as you want. Well, I mean, before you switch, right? So that's going to be your new leading hand. So reach over your hand farther, right there, and turn your hand over this way. Okay. Now you're in a position to bump her, right? Just like what you did with that hand. So you bump her, bend her, and now you're already set up your driving hand. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just doing it ahead of time so that there's not a bunch of. It's just like a dance, Yeah.
Okay. More fluid.
What's that?
More fluid.
Yeah, fluid, exactly. Like in the beginning, it won't be, but it will get fluid. So now I'm going to add it. Think about everything that we've learned so far. We're getting her attention like you're doing. You still got to do everything we've learned so far, plus more. That's all right. It didn't work so good because you didn't concentrate enough on the hindquarters. You were too worried about your hand. So make sure those hindquarters, that inside leg steps forward and through before you change. Okay? That's okay. Yeah, and you got to pause. There's a momentary pause after the hindquarters before you do the front. Momentary. It's just momentary. Let her think about what she just did and reposition herself for the new movement. Better. Better. She's still close, but better. And your hand was pretty dang good. Yeah. Step to her hip. Don't be thinking about the front end so much. Don't lose the idea. Here's the thing. If she doesn't step deep with those hindquarters, the front ends are going to be a wash. It won't work. So don't hurry. Don't hurry to the front end. Break it down. There, that was a little better. She still pushed you. I would have gave her a little momentary pause, even more so. Better, but you can still see she's coming. She's so instead of letting her go, I just stop her, make sure she's stepping out with that front end, and then resume. See, this will get you to the dance. You're trying to do the dance step, which I appreciate, but this, if you break it down, it'll get you to the dance quicker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just need to pause more.
Pause more and say, you know what? First of all, look at it this way. I don't want to get greedy. Say, thank you for so much for stepping so wonderfully behind. Now we're going to reposition because it's good for you and it's good for her to think it through slowly. And then as you both kind of get onto it, just start moving a little faster.
Okay.
Yeah, a little smoother. Now work on that front, stepping back and out. That was a little better. Change hands. Yeah. Okay, so instead of, I would have just, she was already kind of in motion. She didn't want to stop. I'd have bumped her to say, stop your feet. We're going to reposition and we're going to move the front end out correctly.
Okay.
So don't be afraid. Just stop everything and start over. Oh, see, that was pretty good. That's okay. It's okay. Now, drive. See, drive with the, you're pushing her with your hand. You got that tail of the rope in your hand. Instead of just pushing on her, drive right at her shoulder with that tail,
Okay.
and that'll help her get out. So get a little bit more, get a little bit more ready with that tail of that rope when she comes through there.
Okay.
Little better. And she'll start. See, she hustled. She didn't quite understand, but she'll get out of the way of that rope because she doesn't want it tapping her. She'll move out.
Right.
Don't be too critical about that rope. But boy, I mean, she's stepping on you. You bet. Say, get out of the way. Oh yeah, that was the best so far. That was good. I don't know what you did, but it was everything. Oh, everything was right.
Harper, you can't leave her like that.
That wasn't bad. She's still dumping forward. Yeah, you can feel that. So help her get back next time. Help her get back and out. Back and out. Oh, they're done. Okay. Are they done?
Probably.
Okay. Well, we're about.
You can get them tied up.
Okay.
Getting ready to do this way.
Okay.
Harper?
Not bad. Make sure those. I'd have asked her to go one more step with the hindquarters.
Okay.
Get her forward. Get that inside foot really deep in there.
Before you got a trail ride. Oh, okay. I didn't like any of that.
Well, the hindquarters were good. Well, that's okay. You're paying attention to your kids. Okay, go ahead. Start again. It doesn't matter. You just start again.
Yeah, good. So she just stops. I can let her have a second.
Oh gosh, yeah, and you don't have to keep drilling her. Give her a moment there. Let her fight the flies and itch and scratch and work her mouth and get a little release there. That's all good.
Because I feel like that was the first time she like willingly like stopped for the direction change.
And that's when you really give them that release. Good. That's good thinking.
Friends are leaving, huh?
Okay, let's call that good.
Okay.
I think you're on. I mean, unless you got any questions, you're on to that. This just that more advanced way to do it, right? Yeah, and help her get that front end. The really thing is, anytime she starts crowding, you just go back to it and say, let's get you to back up or shift back and reach out so that you're not crowding me and stepping on me and all that, because that's going to be important for your kids.
And if she starts to do like that, that's okay to just make her take a couple steps.
Oh yeah.
She's like,
well, if she comes in uninvited, like right there. In fact, I like the way you reached down there, like we talked about. That's good. But I would even start doing it from here, like bait her too. It's like bait her, like I'm gonna talk over here and and to give her a moment. It's like what happened? What I do wrong? I'm just going with you.
right.
I'm saying I didn't invite you, so I bait them sometimes. And she's saying I'm not taking the bait. Good, good. And then I just say, can you do it from out here? But like you did it, that's good from here. That's good.
I feel like sometimes I get a little, like when I was doing it at home yesterday, getting a little lost, like when they're already in my space and like creating that space again from close. You know what I mean?
Well, give me an example. Like,
so like if she's like me standing here, the mares walk past and she's like focused on them. So if she's already in my space, like if I step forward, obviously she's going to step forward with me because she's already wanting to go that way.
Right.
So then do you use like more close contact stuff to back her up like I did? Or do you know what I mean?
Either way.
I guess that's the question.
No, either way. Again, I wouldn't say either way if it was a little bit more greener horse or something. But this horse is fine, and she responded. But the less I have to do, the better. Again, I want to give her more responsibility. So another way to answer that question, get back, is like I'm over here. Instead of me, I mean, you think about it as being lazy. Instead of me walking all the way up there and doing that, because now 2 seconds have passed, and she might not even understand why you're doing it. But the moment she does it, see, I'm out here. I got this lead rope. See, I'll help her and I'll say, "Hey, get back." And I mean, because if you address and make the correction as soon as the mistake is made, it stays with them more than if you wait a minute and say, you're talking along and then you back them up. It's almost like no good. It's good for back them up, but they don't understand what they did wrong.
Right.
So if they understand that they're coming into your space, I'd just because you're gonna be talking to your kids, but in the meantime, I call it the soft eye and the hard eye, right? That's what they talk about in border collies and stock dogs. They're the hard eye. They watch that cow, right? They're watching that cow. But the soft eye is in everything in the periphery, And horsemen and horsewomen, if you can learn to get that soft eye, this is the soft eye. I'm talking to you, but I'm also paying attention if she's going to encroach on my space. That's the soft eye out here.
Right.
Yeah, just you do it all the time, but maybe you're not aware of it. But we all do it. It's just be really aware of it when you're working your horse, because she's going to creep up on you. Because I'm really bad, because I'll start talking to somebody and then I can't think of but one thing at a time, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, it's too late. I'm not going to hurt you, punish you for that.
Right.
So catch them when they're in the deal, and then.
That lady's gonna saddle up and then she'll come in here. So if you're still going, just go the other way.
We're about done.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay.
Have fun.
So, did I answer that question?
Yeah.
I see she went forward. Is she bad? No, but pretty soon she'll understand if you're consistent, and that's the thing. Here, let me get your slides off there. I didn't get there. See, she's leaving because horses are leaving. See,
and that's when she gets the worst.
That's okay, but then you got to get busier than. Here's the thing. Here's one way to address that. You got to get her more busy about right here than the horses. And sometimes you got to get busier than a one-legged guy in a gunny sack race. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
how busy you might have to get. So you're going, well, what would I do? What would I do to get her busy? And it's called redirecting. It's just that I love that term because it takes their mind off of that onto something else. Right now, she's got to think about moving around. So why don't you just move those hindquarters around? Everything we've been doing. So how about you want to think about your friends? Fine, think about them, but it's going to be awful hard when I do this and I do this because I got you busy. I got you busy. Same thing when you're riding your horse. They get to jogging and prancing. If you got some of this going and you can get the hindquarters, I'd roll the hindquarters. I'd get the front. I'd go up. I'd stop them. I'd back them. And pretty soon they're so focused on what you're doing that becomes something in the periphery. It becomes something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that sometimes is the only thing you can do on green horses. You got to get them busy, busy, busy. So that's why I get all these maneuvers down because that's how I get them busy. I get them busy with those maneuvers, lateral moves, hips over, front end over, go forward, stop, back up, go over this way, go over this. Then I allow them, I give them a moment. I say, or you can have some peace and we can just get our feet stopped and be quiet. So I always give them an opportunity to get quiet. And if they go, my friends are okay, that means we're going to get busy again. And again, you got to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it until one day they'll say, you know what? It's not worth it. I have to do all this work when my friends go, I just soon have a little peace with you. We're good. See what I'm saying? That's the same behavior. So that's why I like to get all this stuff going because when I ride them, I do the same thing. I go like this and hindquarters and front quarters. Hindquarters, front quarters. Now, I might not even let them go around too much because if you let them go around too much, their mind will drift. I make it 3 strides, we're moving. 3 strides, we're moving. There we go. There, you're busy. I'll get busier than you are thinking about your friends. See, it's about me getting you busy. No, don't think about that. How about this? How about this? And this may take forever.
Yeah.
But pretty soon it won't.
Well, and that's good. I mean,
but if you just try to hold him back, what people do is he's getting jiggy and joggy. You start holding him back. It's like taking a kettle that you're boiling water for tea, and it just keeps building and building and building. Pretty soon it's going to blow, not in a manner that you like. It's going to blow somewhere weird. She's going to buck. They're going to rear up. They're going to run off because they're trying to get away. You're containing all that energy. Take that energy and help them just use it. That nervous energy. Here, come around. Then I'll give her an opportunity to see what she says. I'll back her. Back. Good. Back. Good. She's thinking. See, her mind's thinking, like, I'm not sure what this guy's up to, but I still want my buddies. No, yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah.
The principle never changes. Sometimes I got to get busier than heck, and most of the time I don't. But if I have to get busy, that's kind of so you offer them that good deal, that light deal, and you get as firm as you need to get. If I got to redirect her feet as fast as I can to keep her from panicking and thinking that she needs to be with her friends, then I'll do whatever it takes until that dissipates. So I always give her the opportunity. Again, like I said, I'll let her kind of slow down, knowing in my mind that she's probably going to get trouble, but I'll give it to her anyway because that's the light deal, right?
Yeah.
One day she'll take me up on it and she'll say, I don't care about those guys.
Yeah.
This is a lot better than you going around and this and this and this and this, right?
Yeah.
It's that same thing. So that's why you want this lateral stuff all working, because if you try to pull back on 2 reins to get them stopped, that's that kettle. It's just gonna blow. And it's not going to blow in some place that you really want. It's going to do something. She's going to do whatever she needs to get to whatever she's wanting to get to. See,
Right.
now she's probably not too bad, but because it's typical of all horses, as her buddies.
She's definitely higher on the demand of buddies list, though. I mean that's even something I can go tie him to the trailer and work with her in our arena, and kind of
Absolutely.
add another piece to the.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So It's always redirect their mind, and then people say, okay, I like that. But if you don't have those physical maneuvers down so that you can redirect your mind in a positive, productive manner, what are you going to do? I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like get them busy, moving this and that and the other thing, and I'm not containing her. I'm getting all that nervous energy out of her, and I'm working on all my moves, and she's getting better at it.
Right.
So when you first get on a colt and you start in colts, you do it in a halter, and the reason is because you don't want to pull on them because you can't contain them. You got to bend those. You got to bend them enough to disengage those hindquarters to get them stopped until they get quiet enough, and then you start incorporating the two reins like you'd normally do. But but if you even a broke horse, if that's why they rear and they get this, especially in the show pen, they're waiting and the horses are all jigging, and because the guy's kind of, or the gal, they're kind of containing them because they don't know exactly what to do, and but that energy is just building. It's just building, building, building. So,
Yeah.
any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Jay had her walking figure eights on her the first 4 lessons, and I mean it fixed a lot of her problems.
Exactly.
So definitely redirecting.
Yeah, it's redirect, and again, you can redirect any way you want, but I like to redirect by moving, by doing all my lateral work, because it forces them to really do it. And if they don't have any lateral foundation, if you haven't built them, then you don't have it. I mean, right. What are you going to do? Then it's like hang on tight and hope for the best. Yeah. I don't want to ride like that.
No,
I don't like that. It's very uncomfortable. I want to have my horse operating in a way, and if she gets worried or he gets worried. See, and here's how I can get her to back in a circle. I'm going to get her to back in a circle, which is akin to what we've been doing, because she's got to move her front end over there, right? So I'll start backing straight, time up with those front feet, right, left, reach, release. Left, right, release. Left, right. Look how much she's got a quarter of a circle, see? And she's moving that front end out. So you can even back circles like that to help that front end. And that's one of my favorite moves. Once I get on a horse, is I do it on the ground first. Okay, well then, go. She's getting to thinking about being left alone. There, hindquarters. Front, good. Hey, well, when she looks out that way, I just redirect her right back to the circle, right back to the circle, right back to the circle. Come on. And then I'll get those hindquarters. I got to come in a little bit firmer because she's lost mentally. She's over there and not over here. If she was with me, I wouldn't come in so firm. Yeah, but she dumped out right there. There, good. I'll give her that moment. Your choice, girl. We can just kind of hang out, or you can get weird. And she took a big. Now she's thinking about her friends, but her feet are stopped. I don't care if she looks around when her feet are stopped, and I'm not asking anything of her. But when she starts wanting to get, and I won't even really worry about that, because that'll go away. Once you get them busy, that whinny will start to go away, because she can hardly whinny and do all that stuff at the same time. Good. I know you're worried, but yeah. So I'm always looking about the feet. If she was jigging and jogging around, I'd say, let's go to work. Let's go to work. But she's not. She's trying to hang. See, I want to be more important to her than anything else. That's my goal. And when I say more important, I want to be her. I want her to look to me for the support, not her buddies, because those are her species. That's natural for her to do that. She feels security with those guys. So you can't do that. But what I'm going to build is on this trust. Is I want to be able to build at some point that she looks to me for whatever it is that's bothering her. She looks to me because she knows I will support her, just like she looks to those horses. I can be as important or more important than those horses right here. I'm not right now, but that's the wonderful thing about a horse and the human. You can get there.
Yeah.
And that's when you see all those really broke horses in the show pen or wherever you see them, and there's like, because the guy or the gal that's riding them, they're perfectly happy. There's, I don't care if there's 10,000 people. It blows my mind when I see 10,000 people in the stands all screaming and hollering like at a rodeo or something, and the horses. I go, why isn't that affecting them? Because they're secure with that rider, so secure. Like, let them do it. We're good because I know you'll take care of me. I mean, that's how trusting they can get. Yeah. It takes time and work and a lot of work, but anyway. Yeah. Well, unless you want to do anything else. I mean,
I think I really appreciate your help because I need to.
well, it's just little things. You just need a little bit of, it's tweaking.
Yeah.
Because you're already kind of.
Well, and I mean, I've taken a lot of lessons through the years, but I've never done any groundwork lessons, and so I was like, heck yeah, I'm all over that. If I can learn something else, I mean, I've said my whole life, like, even adults should take lessons. Even
Absolutely.
If I had trainers that went and took lessons with other trainers.
Absolutely.
So
you keep learning.
Yeah.
There's no end to any of this. Any of this horse stuff, just like in life, there is no end. Now, you could stop at some point and say, I've learned about enough as I want to. That's fine. To me, I'd like to keep picking at it. I just go, there's more here. What, I can get better, and my horses can get better. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yep.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much again, Jeff. I appreciate you taking the time to. Work with me.
You know what I did here? Let me see. Oh, I'm loving this. Is all working. Let me shut it off.